Is that on? Oh, sorry, guys. I couldn't see the screen. Oh, well, never mind. Welcome to Pilates. My name's Anne. I'm one of the instructors here at Atmosphere. I hope everyone's feeling well this morning. It's hard getting up in the morning as well. Just make sure that you don't start too hard, especially when your body's still cold. So just take it easy, get that blood flowing, and think about that breathing. So while we're waiting for a few more people to come on, we might just quickly posture. So remember these hip bones at the front of the body. We're looking at the feet directly under those hip bone distance apart. The tripods are on the toes. Find the big toe knuckle, little toe knuckle, center of the heel, arch lifted, and gently lower the feet down. The knees are soft. Pop your hands on your hip bones, keeping the knees and shoulders still. Tuck the bottom under, pubic bone in front of the hip bones. Arch the back, pubic bone behind the hip bones. Tuck and arch. Feel the pelvis shift. Try and keep the knees and shoulders still. Stop in the middle where that belt line is parallel. Bring your hands back down. Think about pelvic floor, deep abdominals, T-zone. Vertical line, horizontal line. Lift that pelvic floor up like you stop at bottom relaxed. Draw that line across the center of the belly, back towards the spine. Let's make sure the ribs are over the hips. So if we have a tendency to flare the ribs, we need to bring the ribs back. If we have a tendency to tuck too much, we need to bring the pelvis into neutral and open up those ribs. Shoulders down and back, the chest opened. So think the chest is reaching up towards the ceiling. So we're opening up through that thoracic spine. Now we're going to bring the neck back. So the back of the neck, long chin in. So now we should have created more space. Start breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. So direct it into the sides and back of the rib cage. So breathe in for me and breathe out. Keep doing that for me. Make sure we do direct the breath into the ribs, because if it's deep into the belly, it's hard to keep the core on. And if we're shallow into the chest, we're going to activate all these muscles, which is the total opposite of what we're trying to achieve. So most of those breathing muscles are here. So keep going for me and keep that breathing happening. Crown of the head reaching. So now roll your shoulders. So we roll the shoulders round. So making sure the back of the neck, long chin in, I'm not poking my chin out while I'm rolling the shoulders. And let's roll them the other way. And release it there. Let's bring our right arm up. So think about right up under the armpits, you're lifting up and over and getting that stretch in the side body. A little bit of abdominal connection, chin slightly in, and we're in between two sheets of glass, so we're not rotating forward or back. Coming back down for me, bring that arm back down and reach the other arm up for me. Think about lifting from under the armpit. So we're lifting the ribs away from the hips and getting a little bit of a stretch to there. We're not overstretching, we're just getting that blood flowing and then coming back down for me. Let's just do 2 roll downs, and I'd like you to just do your hamstring stretch if you don't want to bring the head forward. So let's take a breath in. Exhale, nod the head. Around the upper back, mid back, lower back. Draw the belly in, crown of the head to the floor, eyes on the knees. Let everything hang and be heavy. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, tuck the tail under, re-imprint. Glide the shoulders down and back, bringing that head back up. And again, 2 more for me. So nod the head first. T-zones on. Mid-back, belly in. Hanging at the bottom, head and shoulders, arms relaxed. Inhale and exhale. Okay. So let's start in a started position. Just do feet, I still want to go over a little bit of postural work. So if you can just grab your mat, if there's something under your head, grab that as well, down to the mat for me. So first, I'm going to lie on my back. Tripods are on the feet. Let's tuck and tilt that pelvis. Shoulders are down and back of the neck long, chin in. So go to those lower abdominals, curl the pubic bone to the belly button, feel the lower back into the floor, then go the other way, arching the back. As you're doing this, I want you to keep those thighs still, or the leg bones still. So the pelvis is coming away from the thighs as we tuck the tail under. Then the pelvis is going towards the thighs without gripping the groin. So start to feel that muscle activation and start waking these muscles up. If you feel your shoulders are rounding forward, have the hands out a little bit wider, palms up towards the ceiling. And this is something you can do throughout the class if you feel like you're shortening into that shoulder joint. Find your neutral spine for me. Lift up your head. Think of the back of the head sliding up, chin comes in. So we want it to come from the back of the neck. Lay your head back down. So bring that chin in too much for me. It's not very comfortable. Poke it out. It's not very comfortable. Find that middle position. So that's where we've got the back of the neck long and the front of the neck is soft. So now take a breath in and exhale. Feel your body connected into the mat. Upper back gently pressing into the mat. Float your arms up for me, fingertips to the ceiling, palms facing each other. Arm prep here. Inhale. Exhale. Take your arms overhead as far as you can without those ribs popping. So if you can only go partial way, that's okay. You can work into it. So the T-zone's on. As I exhale, rib to hips, I'm taking the arms overhead towards the floor. Arms are straight, shoulders are down and back. Inhale, come back to the start. Keep going for me, floating those arms back. So now we've got the T-zone on, the torso's completely still. So now we're going to ask the lat muscles, the muscles down by the side of the back and at the back, to lengthen to take the arms over. The shoulders are staying away from the ears. The ribs are drawing towards the hips, no arching through the back. Think shoulder blades scooping under the armpits, so like you're exposing those armpits without popping the ribs. And we want nice free movement in these joints. So float the arms back and bring them over the chest. Let's just do 2 more here for me. Last one. And just release the arms for the moment. The next option, we're still warming up a little bit. So I want you to bring your hands back up. So your option is to have your hands by your side or float your hands all the way back. And you can always pop a towel under the hands if it's too much stress. So what I want you to think is reaching the fingertips long, drawing the arm bones in the socket, the shoulder blades are wide on the rib cage. Draw those ribs in. Lift the head up, chin slightly in. Start to tuck and tilt that pelvis. Sorry, I can't speak this hour of the morning. So using those lower abdominals to tuck and tilt again. Feel the lower back press into the floor, arms reaching, and the thoracic spine is on the floor. And I want you to feel like your back is wide, but not pressing into the floor and flexing. So we're going up into our bridge. So come back to neutral, curl the pubic bone towards the belly button, press the feet into the floor, squeeze, and start to peel the spine up. You might only want to go to the base of the shoulder blades to start with. So work into it, okay, especially if you've just got up from bed straight away and doing this. So I don't want you to go to the full range if you're not quite warmed up. I'm just rolling squeezing the bottom and lifting the lumbar spine up. So now I will take it further. I feel okay. So you choose what you need to do. Press the feet into the floor, pubic bone curling, bottom squeezing, knees extending, coming up to that long line, tips of the shoulder blades, arms reaching, chins in. Hold it there for me. Keep breathing. The ribs are drawing down as resistance to the glutes as you curl the pubic bone up and tuck the bottom under. Now from right up the upper back, start to bring those ribs down, keeping those hips high first, lengthening the arms away from you as you're rolling back down. So it's medicine for your spine. So if your shoulders do not like this, that's okay. Just bring them back down. I'm going to arch my back. I'm going to find neutral. Pubic bone curling, feet pressing, bottom squeezing, peeling the spine up. One vertebra at a time. Reaching the arms long, arms stable, shoulder blades stable. Keeping the hips high, pubic bone tucked, rounding through that upper back, mid back, and lower back. Come back down for me and just hold it there. Just check the back of the neck, long chin in. And I want free movement in the neck. So just rotate the neck side to side. So I don't want it to be robotic. I want it free movement in that neck. So imagine your nose is a pencil and you're drawing a line on the ceiling and just working to your mobility, and try and think like one of those bobbleheads. We're relaxing the neck. Okay. So now slide the head up the mat, chin comes in. Ribs are drawing down to the mat, the front ribs meeting the back ribs. Lift the head up. Keeping that chin in, lay the head back down. We're strengthening the neck. The muscles need to work. Tuck the chin in, ribs are in, lifting the head, looking down towards the thighs and coming back down. Any pain in the neck, back or joints, please stop and just wait for the next exercise or do a previous exercise. So we're strengthening this neck. We're taking the thoracic out of it. We just want to strengthen those necks. Last one here. Bring the hands back. Bring your left arm into a 90 degrees position like this, and then just reach it across and stretch the back of the shoulder in between the shoulder blades, especially if you've been working a lot. Release, bring the other arm up. I've got it at that 90 position. And then I'm bringing it across. Sorry, it's more like that. And then across. Don't hold on the joint, above the joint. And release it there. So hopefully we've warmed up all those muscles, ready to work a little bit harder. So we're going into our ab work. So interlock the fingers, put them on up the top of the part of the head, not right up the top, but towards the top. The elbows are lifted in the peripheral vision. We're in that 30 degrees scapular line. So think elbows reaching to the corners of the room. Head is heavy in the hands. Ribs are in, T-zone, neutral spine. Exhale, lift the chest, curl ribs to hips, eyes on the thighs. Inhale, coming back down. Exhale, curl up for me, hold it there. Gently push the head into the hands, the chin slightly in. Lay that upper back down so we feel that length there we've been working on. Exhale, lift up, drawing ribs closer towards the hips. Inhale, down, keep going for me. Tripods are on the feet. T-zone tight. Pelvis is still. As you come up, there's no tucking. Check the tummy isn't doming. And think, lift the chest, crease it, bring ribs towards the hips. Head is heavy in the hands. Using that exhale to lift up. Inhale, all the way back down. Exhale, up. Inhale, down. Let's add a knee float. Exhale, lift one leg into tabletop. Look at that leg. Inhale down. Exhale, changing legs. And down. Keep going for me. To make this exercise easier, you can have your foot closer towards the bottom as you're laying it down. To make it harder, you can have the foot raised so you're tapping it down further. So you just can make those little changes. So further away from the bottom, harder. Feet closer towards the bottom, easier. Use your options here. 2 more. On the next one, hold it up there for me. Ribs to hips, extend one leg out, bring it back in, lower the foot and body back down, other side. Exhale to lift, inhale, extend, exhale, bend, and lower back down for me. Keep going, choose your options. So we don't want any lazy feet, so really point through those toes. Keeping the kneecaps up towards the ceiling to make sure we're not rolling in or out. Creasing from that rib cage, the head is heavy, and using that breath. 4 more. 4. Reach up closer. 3. Reaching through the toes. 2. Controlled pelvis. 1. Point and reach, bend, and come back down for me. Well done, guys. Let's go up into a curl and stay in that curl for me. Tummy tight. Lifting one leg up, the other leg up. Option is to keep one leg down if you need to. So now keep a big breath in. Exhale, extend the leg out. Inhale, draw it back in. Exhale, extend. Inhale in. Keep going for me. Thinking about the ribs towards the hips. The pelvis is still. I'm doing it slow and controlled to keep the muscle under load longer. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. If you need to come out of this exercise, have a little rest and come back into it. 3 more. 3, 2. Last one here. Lower the legs one at a time and come back down for me. Let's practice our tabletop again. So I want you just to take your hands out for now. Tripods on the feet, T-zone, neutral spine. Keeping that pelvis heavy, legs light, tummy tight. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, one leg to tabletop, opposite oblique holds. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, opposite oblique holds, other leg to tabletop. Pop both hands on your knees for me. Active legs. Push your hands into the knees into the hands. Feel the lower back gently pressing into the floor, but that corset of the inner abdominal muscles is lifting back towards the spine. Hold it there for me. Chins in, lift the head up and hold. Place the hands behind the head. And 20, so 10 each leg, quick. Reach and reach, reach, reach. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the legs down one at a time. Reach your legs out long. Just let your legs drop out to the side, relaxing the abdominals, relaxing the legs. Now just squeeze the butt cheeks together to help release the hip flexors. We will work in the hip flexors when our legs are up. Relax. Now let's release the abs. So pop your fingers on your hip bones and let the hip bones roll away from you. You'll feel your lower back arch. If this doesn't feel right, stop. So we're just releasing those abdominals a little bit. Bring the legs in, bring the knees in towards the chest. Use those abdominals to bring the knees towards the chest to release the lower back. And a little bit of a roll if you need. Okay. Well done, guys. Place those legs back down. Just doing some spine twist work. So bring your feet and knees together. I will be layering the exercises up. Arms are out to the side. To make this exercise harder, you'd bring your arms in closer. Okay, so that is your option. Or even to make it harder again, you'd use no arms. So choose your option here. We'll keep this set with the feet down. Shoulders down and back, chin in. Inhale, take your legs over to your right side. That opposite hip comes off, foot comes off the floor. Using those obliques, draw the legs back. Inhale, take the legs over to the other side so that hip lifts off. Knee trying to reach forward. Come back for me. Let's do 4 more each side, only going as far as you can without the shoulders lifting and then without the back arching. Tension is released in that neck by the back of the neck long and the chin slightly in. 1 more each side. So this is level 1. And coming back to the start position. So we've been practicing tabletop. So we go into tabletop if you can. If not, you repeat that exercise. Or you can bring the arms in to make it harder. Legs into tabletop one at a time as we've practiced. Squeeze the feet and knees together. Inhale, take the knees over to your right, lifting that butt off. Knees squeeze together. Inhale back. So it's pure rotation. Exhale, take the legs over to the other side. Inhale back. So what you're looking for is no hitching up through the waist, keeping the waist long. Try not to grip with the floor. I just caught myself gripping with my hands. When I grip with my hands, my shoulders will roll forward. 1 more each side. Watch, it's not going into the neck. Come back to the center and lower the legs down. For those of you that need more of a challenge, I'm showing you the next level. Please choose either of the previous levels. Again, T-zone, shoulders relaxed, back of the neck long, draw the belly in. Tabletop legs to start with, one at a time as we've practiced. Extend the legs up towards the ceiling, point the toes. You won't be able to go as far. Inhale, take the legs over, reaching that inside leg up a little bit higher when the hip's off the floor. And exhale, come back to the start. Inhale, lift that hip off, reaching that foot is reaching, up towards the ceiling or higher than the other leg. Let's do 4 more. Sorry about that, bag hewing. Using the breath, lifting that hip off. 1 more each side. Last one here. Come back to center, bend your knees, lower the legs down one at a time. Squeeze the feet and knees together. Let the legs float over to one side. Look to the opposite side and just release those muscles we've just worked. And breathe and relax. So really think about that when we're breathing, it is going into the ribs. It's not making the neck bulge or your tummy bulge. When we activate the T-zone, it's to the amount of activation we need for that exercise. So that is our deep layer of abdominals. Then that sets us up to invite the bigger muscles to come in and complete the movement. And lay back down for me. Going back to glutes again, so let's just do this quite quickly today. So we're not rolling through the spine. We've done a fair bit of that. We're going to keep that spine neutral. So you just check, tripods are on the feet, that pelvis is level, ribs, that rib to hip distance stays the same. So think about that toothpick between the ribs, so it's not going to hurt you by flexing and it's not going to pop out because you arch. So it's that rib to hip connection. Hands can be out to the side, a little bit wider, palms up. Inhale here. Exhale, press the feet into the floor, squeeze the bottom and lift. Take the bottom back to the floor, but don't touch, and lift. Think ribs drawing back as the bottom is squeezing and lifting. Little tuck of the pubic bone is helping to keep it into the bottom and not the lower back. If you feel cramping, press the feet into the floor and feel like they're sliding away from you. So it is a little bit quicker. We need these for our squatting, walking upstairs, getting off a chair. And if you need to stop, you can stop. So we're loading up by doing a fair few reps. These are big muscle. It's a big muscle group. It's very strong. If we wake it up, we need to strengthen it. So keep going for me. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it up there for me. Tuck the pubic bone under slightly. Squeeze the bottom, lift the hips up higher, drawing the ribs back. Hold it and pulse slow. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And come back down for me. Well done, guys. Single leg. So you can repeat that set or come into your single leg. So squeezing the bottom, T-zones on. Think of that inner thigh connection. Press up for me. Right foot pressing into the floor. Float the left foot up. Tap that toe to the floor for 4, 3, 2, 1. Tap the bottom to the floor for 4, squeeze, 3, 2, 1. Place that foot back down, level out those hips. I was a bit skew-iff there, and come back down. Other side, so reset, make sure that pelvis is level. What you can do is lift the butt up and just send that tailbone away a little bit more so we're not crunching up through that vertebra. Press and lift up. Tuck the pubic bone, left foot pressing, right leg to tabletop. Float that knee towards the floor for 4, 3, wrist towards the hips. 2, 1, hold it up there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Float that leg back down and lower the back and bottom back down. Let's cross our ankle over the knee. Press that leg away. Relax the upper body if you need to, bring that through. And just go to that first point of tension, check that neck and breathe. Oh, it's good just to have a little bit of a relax and just to breathe. When you're stretched, try not to go too strong too soon, because your brain needs to know that nothing bad's going to happen. And what happens is we go too hard because we're used to working out hard. Place where we want to feel like it's a workout, but it's not actually stretching anything. Your brain's saying, oh, something bad's going to happen, so I'm going to actually tighten it up. So when you hear that, you just go into that first point of tension, maybe a little bit of discomfort, and then just try and use the breath to press it out a little bit more. Or if your back doesn't like it, come out of it and then come back into it. So there's always options. Lay that foot back down, cross the other leg, ankle over the knee. Press that knee away. Make sure the hips are level, don't rush it. Bring it up. And again, maybe just take note of what side is tighter. So when you're doing your own stretching program, you're stretching to what your body needs. So if something's stopping you from working out, just try and give that a little bit of a stretch. Start to really get that muscle-mind connection. That's what sometimes we work really hard at getting something strong and putting on a lot of load. And all we actually need to do is put our body in the right position for those posture muscles to come on and working from a better base. So sometimes it's just making little changes and then starting to do a bit of endurance strength to make them stay. Lower down for me. Well done, guys. We're going to come up into a seated position. So roll onto your side for me and just come up nice and safe. And we'll start our partial rollbacks. So when we're doing the rollbacks, sit up nice and tall, legs are separated, hands behind the knees. So we've been working through this rounding a fair bit this morning. So relax the shoulders, keep the shoulders over the hips. So now draw the pubic bone to the belly button. So now I've got the T-zone on. I'm using those lower six-pack muscles to draw and tuck the bottom slightly, feeling that scoop and then sitting up tall. So now I want to get the thoracic into this. So I'm going to lift my chest up, draw the shoulders down and back, lift the chest up. The chin's lifted slightly, but it's not poking out. Then I'm coming back to neutral. Then I'm doing that tuck, really get into the deeper abdominals here. Then come back up to that neutral position. Then think of a light trying to reach up towards the ceiling as you're drawing the shoulders down and back, chin in, eyes come up. Feel the shoulders drape down the back. Then come back to neutral. And again, tuck and round. So I have to round my lower back, but it's coming from here. I'm not just slumping. So I'm inviting my abdominals to do this. So it's different than just going like that. That's just going through my vertebra. So I'm keeping it long and coming up, getting this upper thoracic extension without going into the lumbar spine, and then coming back down. Well done, guys. So choose your options. We're going to have the hands out. We're going to go back a little bit further. So have your arms reaching, arm bones in the circle, shoulders down and back. Inhale here. Exhale, the same thing, tuck first. Get that really deep abdominal curve and start to round down. Inhale here and exhale, reach up. The spine from the lowest part of the back and up nice and tall. So keep going for me. You can go as far as you can. So how you know how far you can go, what will happen? A few things. You'll break and your eye line and hands will change, so we don't want that to happen. Or if you feel you can't keep your legs down, your hip flexors will take over a little bit more and your legs will lift off. So we don't want that to happen. So that's just a few strategies or cheats that you'll do to try and get through the exercise. So it took me a while to do this because I'm quite flat in my lumbar spine. So I just have to work to be better. I'm never going to be perfect. I just want to get a little bit better so my back doesn't fuse up and get stuck. So I want you hip bones curling towards the belly. Your torso is coming away from your thighs. Your thighs are lengthening. Pause here. Your torso is coming towards the thighs, scooping down the leg and sit up nice and tall. We're adding on again here. Keep going or come with me and just pause here. Arms go up, out and in. Free movement in the shoulders. We did that at the beginning of the class. Out and in. So think scoop of the shoulder blades as I'm lifting the arms up. I'm showing everyone my armpits, so luckily the camera's not on my armpits. So it's really getting that movement there. Nice free movement. Pause here, rolling up, sit up nice and tall, bring the feet together and just lean forward for a little bit of a stretch and release there. So just breathing into those ribs for me. And coming up into the seated position. So we're going into a spine twist. So with this exercise, our legs are straight, feet are flexed. So if your hamstrings are too tight, you can soften the knees a little bit. Or if you feel you can't sit up nice and tall against that brick wall, what you can also do is sit on something. So a small step or a couple of books, so your hips are a little bit higher. So that's an option you can do at home. When you're back at the gym, you can always come and sit up on the stage with me so your hips are higher, so that's an option as well. So arms on the back of the head. So think about that sitting up against that brick wall. So I'm sitting the sit bones, lengthening my spine. elbows are in the peripheral vision, so I've got that 30-degree scaption here. So that means my shoulder blades are down, but the shoulder blades are scooping under the armpit. Now we've done a little bit of thoracic work, so now I want you to lift that chest slightly without breaking at the lower back. So now chin's in, inhale to prepare here, exhale to rotate, rotate. Inhale back, don't go too far, exhale, rotate, rotate. Just go to where you can. So the chin stays in, I'm rotating through that rib cage, keeping those armpits opened and the upper back extended. That's going to give you more space to bring your head back and rotate around. If you need to stop and have a little rest, please do. Come back into the exercise and keep going. Make sure your feet are flexed and you're not scissoring through the hips like this. So as I'm rotating to my right, this down and back. Let's do one more each side. Please go to your limits. Don't do as many reps. And release it there for me. Separate the legs. And again, the same thing. If you feel that you need to bend the knees, that is fine. Have the hips up a little bit higher. Arms are out in front. I'm up against that wall. Abdominals lifting, spine lifting. Inhale here, so we're going spine stretch forward. Nod the head. Rounding through the upper back, mid back. It's like someone pulling my waist, reaching up and over. Reaching out, my ears are in between my arms. Inhale here, exhale T-zone, re-imprint that spine, one vertebra at a time and coming up to a seated position. Keep going for me. If this doesn't feel right for you, just go back to one of the previous exercises, your rolling bridge, any abdominal work we did previously. There's no right or wrong exercise, just not every exercise suits our body. And you want to feel like you're getting a little bit further by getting more mobile in the spine rather than trying to reach the shoulders forward. So getting my arms forward, this isn't going to help. It's just going to aggravate my neck. My shoulders are down. Using those abdominals to round and reach me forward. Last one here will stay down. So rounding down for me. Grab onto the outside of the leg. So I'm in a rounded position here. Using my hands, I'm going to lift my upper back up into a straight line or as straight as I can get. Bring your hands up, so in a diagonal position, but hopefully straight. Take the arms back and pulse the arms back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As you bring the arms forward, just extend that upper back up. And again, so we're rounding down. Hands go on the outside of the legs. Hold. Extend that upper back, chin in. Reach the arms up and back. 5 pulses. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the hands forward. Extend that upper back. Last one, rounding and reaching. Hands come down. Upper back extends. Hands come up. Out to a T. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the hands forward, sit up tall. Bring the arms up, a nice tall stretch. Bring the hands behind, fingers back. Open up through the chest. And have a nice stretch there. Relax the legs. Breathing into that ribs. And sit up. Well done, guys. So hopefully you're feeling a little bit more opened up through that chest area as well. So we'll go on to our side lying. So we'll go through our side glutes. So lie on your side, on your biceps, so arm at some things. So we're going to start with double leg lifts. So when we're in that position, imagine you're lying on one plank of wood. So the feet are flexed, arm is out straight, top hip pressed away, but you will get side flexion in the underneath waist. It is going to happen. So just still think of that length. Tuck the pubic bone, ribs to hips, Hand can be in front for balance. So now think there's a piece of string here. So there's a light shining on these oblique muscles here that are going to lift your legs up and lower back down. So if you feel strong enough, you can have your hand here. But see, I automatically went over here because my this side's weak. So I don't want to do that. I'm going to leave my hand here so I can do the exercise right. So think of these muscles here drawing up. And as I get stronger and not talking, I need to concentrate on it more. I've just released all these muscles. They've been really tight, so now I have to strengthen them. So now that I'm struggling getting this activation, so that's what that looks like. I'm stressing all up here. I go back to my lower option, okay? So that's okay. You're better off to do that lower option and learn the right movement pattern than keep doing the wrong movement pattern. It actually takes hundreds and hundreds of correct movement patterns to change. Okay, so lift that top leg up now. Use that inner thigh to beat the leg up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the knees in into our clam 1. Option 1, feet down. Option 2, feet up. Top hip pressing away, poking the bottom back, T-zone, neutral spine. Open and close. Open and close. So let's think about drawing that knee up rather than just lifting it. It's different. As I'm doing that, I'm thinking this hip is reaching forward. It's not actually moving, but it's just that sensation. Rotating from those butt muscles. Ribs are in. So we're going to make this harder. Open, extend back, heel together and close. Feet up or down, you choose your option. Reach it back. In and down. Let's do 10 more if we can. 10. So I'm thinking about reaching my heel back in line with my bottom, stretching out through that hip. Trying not to rock through much to that pelvis. Squeezing the heels together first to get that activation. And I've lost count. I think about 5 more. 5, 4, 3. Touching the muscles sometimes helps. 2. And 1. And lower the legs down. Well done. Next exercise, your option is to have the legs both straight again. That's harder. Or you can have the underneath leg bent. Bring this leg up to hip height. Reach it out long. So I want you to think about lengthening that lower back so that pubic bone's tucked under. Use your abdominals and the lower back to stop you from tucking the bottom under, bringing as far forward as you can without rotating in. So find that position for me. Take the leg back as far as you can without arching through the back. So I need to hold on with these muscles here. So keep going for me, bringing the leg forward and back. So we can point to come forward, flex to go back. So I'm just keeping my hand on my hip to make sure I'm not tucking under. As I bring the leg forward, I think about poking this top hip back and I feel a bit of a stretch through that butt muscle as well. So I'm trying to lengthen it under load and then use it to draw it back. So there's a purpose for it. So we talk about flexibility a lot. And being flexible is really good. But if you're not strong, especially in those beginning and end ranges, that's where your injuries occur. Last one. And bring it back and lower down. Give it a rub. Let's roll over and do the other side. So we talk about flexibility and mobility a lot. So we need all of it. So Pilates is great for lengthening out the muscles under load and getting them stronger. So come into your double leg lift, reach the legs out long. If you want, you can have a little bit in front if you need to. Top hip pressing away, abdominals on, hand on the floor or hip. Think of that light shining on those oblique muscles and Tuck the pubic bone under and lift. So exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Piano fingers here if you can, or hand on the hip. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift that leg up. Pulse the other leg up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back down for me. Bend the knees in. Feet in line with the bottom. Option is feet down, feet up. Top hip pressing away. Open that knee and close. So even imagine that you've got a band, a really tight band around this knee. And you squeeze the heels together and anticipate that opening. Resist the close. So remember, harder is up. I can go like this all day from the front of my hip. I'm going to wear it out and it'll get sore. But if I think about just rolling that top hip a little bit more forward to get the right muscles, that's okay. We do want to be able to get them in a neutral spine. But if we need to find them first in that rounded position forward, that's okay as well. Let's go. Open, out, in, and down. Open, reach, in, and down. Squeeze to open. Extend, feel the stretch. Heel together, knee up. 5, reach. 4, T-zone. 3, rib to hips. 2, butt squeezing. Last one here, reach, heel and knee and lower. Well done. Choose your option again, whether you have harder is both legs out, or you can bend that other leg up for more balance. So this leg is pressing into the floor. Reach that leg up to hip height, lengthen it away. The first couple, really think about not tucking. See how far you can bring it forward. So I'm keeping that hip opened, squeezing the bottom to take it back without arching. So again, you can point and flex. Go within your range, keep that hand there. 5 more, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and good. Let's roll onto our bellies. So we're going into some Supermans, opposite arm and leg. So we need to set up. So arms are out, thumbs are up, legs are out as well. So think about being in an X position. So again, fingertips reaching away, arm bones drawing in the socket, elbows straight. Lifting those abdominals like there's cold ice on your mat, pubic bone tucked. So let's think. Scoop the left shoulder blade under, squeeze the right butt cheek, lift. Lower back down and lift. Keep going for me, trying to minimize that rocking. Think about that X on the back of the body and on the front of the body. To make this harder, you can lift the face just off the floor, or we can go into both arms and legs. If you feel discomfort in the lower back, I'm a bit skewiff today, just go back to the single. If your head and shoulders don't like this position, just do your legs. So really think, especially if you're doing both, you've got to draw those abdominals up and away from the mat and breathe in and out. Take a little rest when you need. Come back into the exercise. Choose your option. Keep going. 4, 3, 2, 1. Come down for me. Place your hands on the outside of the mat or where it feels comfortable for you. So we're going into our swan. So lift the belly, pubic bone into the mat. Think shoulders down and back, chin in. So think, lift that upper back. We've done a bit of that work today. So that upper back reaches up towards the ceiling, the chest reaches forward, the eyes lift. and then coming back down. That's telling me it's time to move on. And exhale up and inhale lower. Keep going for me. Just coming up a little bit higher if you need, without pushing the hands into the floor. Think about the elbows sliding back towards the waist so you can pivot from that point. On the next one, hold it up there for me, tummy tight. Bring your arms out to the side, palms down, and you're just going to pulse the arms back on a little bit of a diagonal. So thumbs are rotating up as I do this. 5, 4, tummy tight. 3, 2, 1, hold it there. Bring the hands under the forehead, hold, and lower back down. Well done, guys. Just come up into a 4-point position for me, and we'll just finish with some stretches. So hands are underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. T-zones on. Tuck the tail under around the lower back, mid-back, upper back, chin in, eyes towards the body. Hold it there for me. And just think about moving the lower body first. So each vertebra is talking to the next one. And then as it moves up the back, then have that knock-on effect, chin in. Let's start from the head first. So my chin's lifted, the nose comes down, rounding through the neck, the upper back, the mid-back, the tailbone tucks, and let's release from the top end. So start to extend. So think about that neck like the lumbar spine. So you're bringing that head back up. The middle back is starting to sway back down towards the mat. Tailbone lifts. Hold that position. Reach the bottom back towards the heels. Reach the arms forward. Hold it here for a stretch. Just keep breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Keeping the tail tucked under. Coming up into a seated position. Crossing your legs for me. Sitting up nice and tall. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. And just walk the arms, hands forward. Find that position that you can have a bit of a stretch. Hold. Let the shoulder blades separate. Breathing. Walking the hands back. Sitting up nice and tall. Let's just do a neck stretch. I want you to imagine you're in between two pieces of glass. Chin in, ear to shoulder. And up. Other ear to shoulder. And up. Raise. And you guys are done and dusted. Sorry if I went a little bit over time, but I hope you have a great day. We'll see you back here on Friday, I think. And just on Saturday, I'm doing a class on Saturday, so just bring a TheraBand if you've got one. See you then.